Art is a language that speaks to all cultures and all ages. As we are all aware, violence is a plague in the city of Reading and a fundamental problem. It is our hopes that the work we do can unify all and engage in the community to help us in laying the small bricks that we have already laid here in the city of Reading. And it is our hope to collaborate with all who are in this room today. Our mission is to unite our culturally diverse communities by strengthening families for social change, to create art programs and policy initiatives that support families and youth. Our vision and goal are to give our community the avenue to express themselves artistically and to provide positive reinforcement to the community at large. RISE is a youth arts nonprofit organization that fosters the arts to promote a healthy lifestyle. And our RISE programs are geared towards solutions for social adversity, violence prevention, criminal justice reform, initiatives by uniting our cultures as one through performing arts and media arts education. And so when I moved here back in 2008 from New York City, I was an outsider looking in, and all I saw was a beautiful city. My first spot was in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I commuted to work every day for 2 years. And ultimately, my family, we wanted to purchase a home. However, there wasn't much culture going on in Allentown at the time. Now it's booming and it's beautiful. But I had a cousin who lived here in Reading. And the fact that I can go 5 miles away and get an alcapurria, I was sold. Do you guys know what an alcapurria is?
Yeah.
Okay, Abuelito sells really good ones on Fifth Street. And so I saved my money, we purchased a home here, and I knew that I would be able to find employment. And so when I hear folks saying, oh, I can't find a job here in Reading, I kind of find that absurd, because my purpose for moving here was because there was availability for me to work and find a job. And so I started working for Dante Santoni at the time, who was a state representative. And I started taking a leadership class. And then we had a project, and we had to do something community orientated. So I started managing a public relations, I started managing a political campaign that was going on. I won't mention the name, but we won. And my career has been public relations for 20 years, and that has been in entertainment and in the private sector in a nonprofit hospital in Brooklyn, New York. And so I was working on the project, and my heart wasn't in it. And I had a family, and I had kids here, and I said, well, I want to do something that, if I'm going to work towards it, it'll be standing for a long time. And so I saw the need and the disservice that was happening here with the youth in Reading. And I come from a performing arts background, and I wasn't doing anything, and my husband says, you really need to get back into what you're usually doing that makes you happy. So I was taking some classes at the Goggleworks, and I noticed that there wasn't a lot of footwork of younger youth that looked like me, that were Hispanic and Black. And I said, wow, this building is absolutely amazing, and we need more kids here. Like Daniel, I'm a visionary, I'm a dreamer. I said, you know what, let me just start a program. I came out of pocket, I started paying for some rental space at the Goggleworks, and I put a massive email out, and I think MySpace was out at the time, and I just invited folks to come. And I said, okay, if I have 5 students, that's cool. The first day we opened the doors, we were doing a film and media arts program, because the Goggleworks had a computer room with brand new Macs, and they weren't being used. And I was like, okay, we'll do some video PSA work, and we'll get them to work on the Macs. Well, I opened the doors, and lo and behold, I had about 20 kids. I was floored. Not only did I have 20 kids, I had 15 parents that were willing to volunteer. And I said, wow, people really say that, you know, kids don't do things here and parents don't get involved. Well, I didn't have that experience. So I kept doing what I was doing. Funding was very limited. And that program had to stop because we didn't have funding. But sitting down and being the creative that I am, I just moved on with different programming. And since then, I'll go back to my notes here. What RISE predominantly focuses on is, I need my glasses, I'm getting old. We create jobs for artists in Reading, and our hopes is to be a model for other urban cities where we can foster this program and having other urban communities hire young local artists as well. We're advocacy for criminal justice reform. We focus on youth mental and physical health with art therapy. We create opportunity for tourism into Reading and increase business revenue in the arts. We have a mentorship program that's standing now at Kutztown University, and we have an open door with internships with local Reading college students. As I said, our organization started as a local grassroots movement in 2008. And what was most alarming to me was that article that came out in the New York Times, you know, that we were the poorest city in the nation. And again, like I explained, I came here and I didn't have that vision when I moved here. So the article to me meant absolutely nothing. And I hope to bring the New York Times back to show them how rich in culture we are in the future. And let's see here, significant outcomes. I did some research too, like someone else mentioned here about, I think it was Juan, on the block that he lived on. And when that article came out, I said, well, I used to come shopping here in Reading many years ago. And I remember getting on the bus with my grandmother and being so excited to come because there was food and lots of culture. And ultimately, we all know that that's something that's lacking right now here in the city of Reading. Food and culture go hand in hand. So I'm hoping that the economic development that's going on now, the new folks that are there, they have a grip on this, because Penn Street is just, it's an amazing place. And it was at one time, right? Because it was the square for entertainment. So I said, well, how do we bring that feel back downtown? And Crystal, at the time, called me in and she said, well, you know, I met with some folks and there was a Guinness Book World Record title to be broken. And I had partnered with another organization where we were doing some work together with Latino students and salsa dancing. And I said, sure, no problem. She said, the other person doesn't really have time. I said, oh no, I'll do it. I literally ran with it, and I'm still running with it. And I refuse to give up until we break this title. And so we've done Dance on the Street, which is AKA the Dots Fest, and attempting to break the Guinness World Record. Our event this year will be held September 21st. The Goldworks is the host for it this year, and I encourage you all to please, please, please get involved, because we can't do it without your help. We have the Rise Global Community Project, which is our I Commit campaign. It's a peer-to-peer awareness action campaign that focuses on health, education, family, and environment. We had our first mindfulness youth series just not too long ago. Pretty cool coverage in the Reading Eagle, and our next event is April 24th, 2019 at the Gobbleworks. We do have our Live to Read campaign, which is an actual collective initiative. And it's called, in Spanish, is led by Vivir. It's a grade level reading campaign that aims to raise awareness and celebrate the importance of reading in our community. Again, that's a collective initiative, and we usually partner with the Olivet Boys and Girls Club to bring books, usually around the Christmas season. And I've worked very closely with Claudio, David Nazario, and a couple of other businessmen on that project. Currently, we have our free youth hip hop dance program that's done extremely well. It's been standing for 2 years. It's a free program, and by the way, all of our programming is free for the kids in Berks County and Reading, Pennsylvania. But currently, we have an 86% of Reading youth that range from the ages of 6 to 18. We open the doors to the youth starting at 8. But we figured they were bringing their little brothers and sisters, and they were running around the room, so we just put them to dance. And it's been very, very, very successful in facts of attaining numbers. Actually, the director of the dance program works here at the Doubletree. His name is James Williams, and when he started with us, he was on house arrest. And I thought it was great, and it's an amazing mesh, because some folks don't realize that you don't give folks a second chance. But I've learned that working with youth, it gives some folks some type of accountability. And it makes them really want to do better because they're inspiring the next generation.